personally, there's always these tornadoes kind of following me, whether it's ancestors or family members, medically speaking, they may have some health problems. It could be physical, mental health problems, anything of that sort. So like, in the back of my mind, I would always be like carrying these tornadoes. And I really didn't have to. I realize that now. I was in full control of my life. So whatever my parents, family members, ancestors went through, it was zero me. Because, so people are leaving companies every day. Horrible managements are changing every day. Policies are becoming stricter every day. There's new laws coming in and going out, literally being discontinued like every day. Laws are becoming stricter to help the public every day. There's like new HR, human relations, human resources, codes of conduct, compensation being introduced and implemented every day. There's also new technology coming in every day. Like the phones, they're not the same as they were in the, I think it was 90s. Anyhow, 70s, 80s, they were pretty much non-existent. So thank you there, Steve Jobs. With all of this in mind, there's so much new. People zero have to live like in history, like historically. Think about it. Whatever your parents went through, the hardship that they endured, the tragedies that they went through, it's zero to say that you would be going through the same hardships and experiencing the same tragedies. As much as I'm talking about new companies, new rules, new conducts, I mean, I'm just pretty much pointing out that the world is changing. And it wasn't the same that it was like a minute ago. So if the past was horrible for you or family or any, and for myself, like, it's not to say that it's going to continue. I'm in full control of changing it and making it into the optimistic life that I want it to be. So pretty much I can break this cycle of what's historically happening. I'm my own person. I have my own DNA. I have my own mother and father. I mean, my parents even have their own mother and father where their DNA and their blood comes from. So their whole circle of experiences, the information that they've received, the knowledge that they know is different from my own. I'm my own individual. I have my own thoughts, my own experiences, my own goals, and my own direction of where I want my life to go. And it's always in a happy direction, as should yours. And when I say happy, I mean one that is optimistic and good. Good deeds, good thoughts, good intentions, safe, always safe, people's safety always in mind, Zero hurting anyone. For me, it was always a goal of being successful with like my career goals, like what I wanted to do. Like I wanted to be, I don't know, like the CEO of some like major Procter and Gamble like association, like corporation. Just because your family, your ancestors have endured hardship, it zero mean that that's the direction you have to go, or that's the direction that you're heading in. So say like your parents would hit. You're living in a time where hitting is not allowed. Like there's safety measures for people in place. There's helping. There, like you're not alone. You're not alone in a world where there is like the UN. There's non-profit organizations extending help, extended organizations of that as well. You have healthcare systems, new and improved healthcare systems. Yes, you do learn from your parents certain thoughts, certain habits, gestures, deeds, but it doesn't mean that you have to continue them, especially when they're bad and you know they're bad. So break the cycle. Make a good life for yourself, one that you will enjoy. People's safety always in mind, Zero hurting anyone. With mental health, it skips generations. So so long as you're creating good habits for yourself. There's a quote, and it says, worrying is pretty much praying for something that you don't want to happen. So stop it. Stop from worrying. Simple and straightforward. To the point. It's pretty much with good intentions always comes out like good outcomes. All right, just keep in mind, your parents are much older. You're starting off from scratch. So what you're learning is different. It's a different time. It's a different era. You have new and improved technologies, and pretty much what technologies are tools that give you good information. Mind you, there's some really not so good information, so definitely do your research. I think I pointed that out in other videos. Instead of being like the grim reaper of your own life. Because remember, you're always in control of your life. So make a new happy ending. One that is optimistic. Instead of trying to go, okay, this is my life, this is where my parents were, this is what they've taught me. You're younger in an ever-changing time available to you. So be productive with it and break that cycle of tragedy from you. We go to school, we learn about history. When I was going to school and learning about history at that time, they had explained to me, now I don't know if they've explained the same thing to you, and if they haven't, well, lo and behold, you have a piece of information or tidbit that's really helpful. They had said history is usually taught in school. The students learn that there are certain episodes, good or bad, from history that if they're good, if it worked for people in history, that if they're good, can be useful, we can implement it for the future of this world and where we'd like to see it grow into a really unified, cohesive, a good place to live and a good place for our children to live, and so on and so forth for future generations. However, in history, they also teach that, certain times in our history where it wasn't so good, it wasn't so bright, so that we may repeat those things and just stop ourselves, break that cycle of history to forever repeat itself, so that we may have, and that we have, a good future for ourselves to live in, and so on and so forth for future generations. Makes sense, right? I think so. I always thought, holy cow, man, this is boring, I don't want to be here. However, it does have its good points. Now, I don't know, it's funny, sometimes I'm did all people know this? Some people don't, because some people don't go to school, right? They skip out on certain things. So, they might have missed that. I can't sit there and say, oh, people are stupid, or, all people are idiots, as should you. It just depends on what played a part in that person not learning or not getting a school education. People in third world countries, they don't have the luxury of the education that we do in North America, in the first world countries. So, people in huts, they wouldn't know about diseases, phantom, they would experience it, but but they don't know the technical terms. They wouldn't know, okay, go to the hospital for like this and this, a vaccine, injections, plague, whatever, until they actually have it. When it should be common sense to us, it isn't for everyone. So maybe they don't have the monetary, or they're not rich, or they're not even middle class, like it's hard for them to even find food, or for their parents to get them food, because they live in poverty. So, for different and many reasons, some people might not know this stuff. So why not talk about it? Like now, like we're doing right now, or that I'm doing right now. I hope you guys enjoyed the YouTube channel here. And again, if you have any topics you want to talk about, leave it in the comment below, and then we'll talk. All right.
Subscribe.